Welcome, everyone. My name is Dan Fowler. I am the Imagination Engineer. And recently, my team and myself, we have developed a board game that's based off of our live events called Imagination IQ. Imagination IQ is what we call an epic event experience, or triple E. Epic event experience. And a lot of people that came to Imagination IQ, the live event, asked me saying, how can we take Imagination IQ home with us? So we decided to make a board game. And in doing so, we created some things that were way beyond a board game. This board game is a vortex, a portal, if you will. And those that play the board game feel this presence and feel its power and are able to connect deeper with themselves and deeper with each other. Through that process, I constantly do card readings for myself, being very adept with tarot and other angel decks, etc. I like to experiment. And one evening, I was guided to do a reading for myself, which I often do, but I was led to do this reading for myself with the game board from the Imagination IQ board game. So I pulled the game board out and I started doing a reading. And it was a reading that wasn't set up in a traditional way. There wasn't a Celtic cross. It wasn't a 3-card reading. It wasn't a 1-card reading. I did it based off of our layout for the Imagination IQ board game. And that layout is actually Metatron's cube, or the Merkaba cube, as some may know it, became the placeholder, the placemat, if you will, for my cards, for my tarot deck, for my angel decks. And I started doing a reading that I had never done before, at least in the configuration of the cards. It was one of the most powerful readings that I have done for myself to date. Energy emanated from the board. I felt it, and I am the king of being skeptical. I am skeptical by nature, and yet I find myself more and more being sucked into the spirituality and the real awakening and connection that energetic work has to offer. But I always want to experiment and test and even challenge sometimes what I'm experiencing and not just receive it full on. I want to play with it. I want to tweak it. So with my board game, even though the board game was complete, I felt like I needed to play with the board in a different way. And I did that with my cards. I did a reading. If you know about the Merkaba cube or Metatron's cube, you know that it has 6 points on the outside of it. And then a center point, which is called the heart of the Merkaba, the heart of Metatron's cube. It's basically, if you were to see it in 3D, Metatron's cube is 2 pyramids intersecting. In the middle, one right side up, one right side down. So I'd like to take a few minutes and actually do a reading for you. A reading for the world, using the Imagination IQ board and a deck that I have chosen today. You can choose any deck of your choosing if you choose to go this route and use the Imagination IQ board as your placemat for your card readings. This is a card reading configuration that you probably have never seen before. I haven't seen it, and I was doing research on it after the fact. It just kind of came to me. I think Metatron is one of my buddy angels. He helped me bring to bear his cube into being in the sense of the Imagination IQ game, and using it as the design when I was hopelessly lost and not knowing what the design of the board would be. And now we are here completed with the game. And I'm so pleased that it is completed, but I always felt there was something more. And today I would like to share with you that something more when it comes to using it with a tarot deck or an angel card deck of your choosing. So let's go ahead and take a quick centering and grounding meditation, and I'll guide you through this. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold. And exhale through your mouth. Let's do that again. In through the nose. Hold. And exhale through your mouth. Get nice and loose here. Inhale through your nose. Hold. Exhale through your mouth. Good. I want you to feel your feet flat on the floor. If they're not flat on the floor right now, get them flat on the floor. Feel the energy of the earth soaring through your feet, your soles of your feet. Feel the soles of your feet pulsating from the energy of the earth. That's right. That's right. Nothing else matters right now. Nothing else matters except for having your feet feel that pulsating action. That energy soaring through the soles of your feet. In and out, in and out. That's right. Take another deep breath through your nose. Hold. Exhale. Now imagine these big roots coming out from the soles of your feet and going deep into the earth, past the crust, past the mantle, all the way to the core of the earth, the heart of the earth, where the life source of the earth is, where it churns, changes, evolves, and sends life to the planet. Yes, that's right. Feel that groundedness that you have. You're just locked into the earth right now. Let's take a deep breath through your nose. Exhale. Metatron is the angel that is for sensitive souls. The angel to sensitive souls. There are many types of sensitive souls out there, and you're probably one of them if you're listening to this right now. He's there to help guide and direct and give you inspiration, because you can hear him. You can feel him. And you know that he's there to assist. Systems and strategies and tactics in a soft, loving, and considerate way. That is Metatron. Let's take another deep breath through our nose. And out through your mouth. Good. Good. Alright, start coming back. Coming back. Open your eyes. That's right. Yes. Every time you do a reading, even if it's for yourself, you should always ground and center yourself before flipping a card or using any other divination tool. Now, the greatest divination tool is your body, of course, the sensing, the feeling, the knowing. But using other devices like cards can be helpful to set the stage, to set the groundwork for your body intuition, your physical feelings to take over. Today we are going to use some cards, and we're going to use some cards with the Imagination IQ board. This is going to be very, very powerful. This board resonates powerfully, and you will feel it even through the video. So as we go through this reading, know if you are feeling dizzy or lightheaded, take a moment and take in some deep breaths and exhale, and really dial into that centering into the earth and grounding into the earth. This is what's going to keep you anchored in. If you're feeling dizzy, I can say from experience, I was feeling quite dizzy the first time. I wasn't expecting the power of this vortex, but card reading, when you're divining and using your intuition combined with sacred geometry, combined with your intention to go deeper and drop in, there's going to be some forces that are dug up. So you have to be prepared, and I want you to be prepared. As you see now on the screen, this is the Imagination IQ board for our board game. It is the Merkaba cube. It is Metatron's cube. And it's just altered slightly with colors that correspond to items in our game, and of course the colors that we use to correspond to certain key components in the Imagination IQ curriculum to teach people how to manifest on demand. So manifesting on demand is something that one must embody a process, a cyclical flow of energy. And the Merkaba cube, Metatron's cube, helps with this. So the game itself becomes this vortex to create and co-create and bring in more awareness to who you are, why you're here, and how to co-create with others to bring awesomeness into the world. So I started using this board as my place to do my reading. And I have 4 candles here right now just to signify the 4 winds from the 4 different places on the compass: north, south, east, and west. And I've kind of set them up here there for you. I'm going to go ahead and light those now. Thank you, old ones from the north, as you help and guide us through this reading. Keep us safe, keep us protected. Thank you, wise ones from the east. The sun rises in the east. May it rise upon us to enlighten our way as we have this reading with you. Thank you, wise ones from the south, as you hold the foundations of our being, as you hold us closely to you, as you bring us into awareness that as is below, so is above, as is above, so is below. Thank you for your grounding and foundational work to allow us to be all we can be. And thank you, wise ones, powerful ones of the West. Bear energy is in the West. I have a lot of bear energy within me. My spirit guide is bear. Bear is in the West, and bear is where imagination flows from. So the flowing of the West is the new dawn, the breaking of a new dawn, the breaking of that, old habits into a new pattern of success, bliss, and pure imagination. Thank you all for being here today, and guide me as I go through this reading. Amen. As it is so. So if you notice, the board already has a very centristic power to it. And again, I'm one of those guys that's not, woo-woo or anything like that, but I feel it. And my divination tool, my best divination tool, my body, feels it. It felt it strongly the first time I did it, and it's felt it strongly ever since. And even more so, because now I'm getting tuned in to this portal and being able to see, know, and hear more from the readings that I do. The deck I'm going to use today is appropriate. It is the Psychic Tarot Heart deck, and it's from John Holland. You may have this deck, you may not. This is from Hay House. It's an awesome deck, especially when dealing with the heart and heart energy. And it's green, the box is green, because the heart chakra is depicted by green. And that energy exuding forth, and healing energy. If you notice in some angel decks, Raphael. The Archangel Raphael is associated with the color green, and it's because it deals with matters of the heart. As you do your readings, you don't have to use this deck. You can use any deck you like. Any deck is fine. Any deck is fine. As you see here, green backs out as well. A lot of green energy today. I'm wearing my green shirt, green cards, a lot of green. Take that into consideration as well as you are progressing into, colors that resonate with you. For me, the green is important because, well, I've been seeing in a lot of different other places. There's a lot of synchronicities going on with the color green from various places and various sources. So take note of those things in your life and incorporate them in your, divination practices and tools. Okay. So before I do anything here and actually use the deck, let me explain what I do with the deck. I'm actually going to move this to the side just so we can see clearly. What I do with the deck on the Imagination IQ game board is I draw actually 8 cards total. So they actually correspond to each one of the colors on the outside of the Merkaba cube. Okay, so we've got the blue, we've got the yellow, we've got the orange, we've got the purple and the red and the green. Each of these colors corresponds to a specific step in the 6 steps to manifest on demand. Manifest your dreams, manifest and monetize all of those things. Get the life that you deserve, not only deserve, but you so desperately want. I teach these things in Imagination IQ, live event, and they're also incorporated in the board game. And so this reading is also about those 6 steps. Here are the 6 steps. Blue is associated to awareness. Yellow is associated with energy, your energy. Orange is associated with gravity well. Now you probably have never heard that term before, but it's a term I use as a place in which you are so dense you can draw in the things you intend to create. You drop into this gravity well. You create it. You create this gravity well. So the things that you are desiring to manifest are drawn to you. You're not chasing after them. So that's the gravity well. And then we have purple, which is imagination. This is your imagination color here. And the next is our red. Our red here is our dreams. Dreams, not just the ones that you when you're sleeping, but also the ones that when you're awake as well. Daydreaming is probably one of the most powerful tools that one can use. And it percolates that imagination inside of you, brings out that 5th and 6th dimensional energy and information and knowledge that you are getting downloaded to you, and you're able to use your dreams to start translating that into a 3rd dimension, a 3rd dimensional, where we live, information, intangibility in our physical world. And then lastly, it's our green over here. Now green is signified manifesting. This is the last step. When you have this in succession, you are able to manifest over and over and over again. Being aware of who you are, where you're at, what you're here to do. Being conscious of your energy output. Where is it going? Is it being sucked out? Your gravity well. How are you dropping in? What are you drawing towards yourself? What are you being a magnet for? There's a lot. We are all great at law of attraction, but it's what are we attracting to us, and how do we do that? And that goes with our awareness and our energy and all of that. Your imagination. How do we take all that raw information that's coming to us in our gravity well and translate that into our dreams, which is next, to tangibility within the physical space? And when we're able to do that, we're able to manifest, which is our green. And if you notice, there is a logo in the middle here with a big brain in the middle. Well, that's our Imagination IQ logo. And that logo has a lot of meanings to it, but the ones that I want to focus on for the board is really simple. Our left and our right sides of our brain. Pretty simple. There are two processes going on. There's many processes actually, but if you want to break it down simplistically, it's the two sides of the brain. There's a left side reaction and a right side reaction to everything that happens to us. Every single impulse that comes through. So I draw two more cards, one for the left and one for the right, to be able to see kind of like a snapshot of what's going on right now in the left brain and what's going on right now in the right brain. And I guess that all depends on the level of inquiry too as we do our readings. All right. Let's take another deep breath through our nose. And now through our mouth. Yeah. Okay. Now you can shuffle any way you like. I've shuffled these before the reading here, before the video. But I want you to feel free to do whatever you normally do with a reading, with your cards. These are your cards. These are sacred. This is a sacred divination tool. So do what you feel comfortable with. Also, some people just pull off of the top of the deck. And I'm not one of those people. I actually shuffle between every draw of the deck. So I'm constantly touching my cards. Constantly touching between every draw. That way, one, the skeptic in me is resolved because there's no like, oh, I stacked the deck somehow or somebody stacked it for me. I'm going to shuffle, and I usually pull from the middle and stack, and pull from the middle and stack, and then cut again, and then pull from the middle and stack. I usually do that. You don't have to do it the way I do, but you can do it however you are feeling led to do. Okay. So, I think we're pretty good. I think we're pretty complete on the shuffle. So the intention here for the world is what do we need to be more aware of as we move forward to more enlightenment, more blue awareness? What do we need to be aware of in our field of understanding and maybe even non-understanding to be able to move on to the next stage, the next up level in our evolution, both spiritually, mentally, and physically? So let's see what the angels have to say. Yeah. And again, I usually draw with them face down, as you see, and I flip them all over after I've drawn. And I'm shuffling again. And now I'm asking guides, angels, God, our energy, where does our energy need to be outputted? Where does our energy, we think about how to serve people, but we don't tend to think about how to mitigate our energy, how to use it properly, to draw in the things we intend to create. And where does that energy need to be? And with that energy, as it crystallizes, it solidifies, as it becomes dense within us, and we become this gravity well, and we're drawing towards us the things that our energy is intending to create. And those can be, negative things as well. We have to be watchful, mindful of the energy that we are putting into ourselves and our surrounding environment. Are we aware of what's being fed into it? Garbage in, garbage out. If you want to manifest the things you want, you must put your energy in those places. If it's not there, you will always manifest who you are in your energy field. Always. Good, bad, the energy just responds. The universe responds going, oh, that's what you want. So what is this thing that we need to solidify in our gravity well? That is so important. And our imagination, where can we be more open, more playful, more vibrant? Where can we smile more? Where can we use our imagination to help help ourselves so we can help others. Imagination is the operating system of the universe. Imagination is God whispering in your ear. God, what do you have to say to us? And as you are whispering to us, how do we translate your awesome words of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in a way in which this third dimensional world can understand and receive? Guide us there through our dreams. And when we feel that congealing, show us where our manifesting focus needs to be shown. Oh, yes. Oh, there it is. And show us that little snapshot of where we're at right now. That's a collective mind, a universal, worldwide mind. Here it is. The left brain, the analytical side, the scientist side of the brain. What is it telling us as a collective whole, as a human race? And the left brain leads to the right brain. What's our collective right brain look like? The creative side, the experimental side, the one that's willing to risk it all, the one that is willing to jump into the unknown. What is that side telling us? Okay. So as you can see, I've just laid the cards out across the Merkaba cube, across the Metatron cube, and the two cards in the middle, one on each side of the brain. And this is the time I go through and flip the cards in the exact same order that I put them down in, to remind myself of the sequence. Energy leads to energy, the right focused energy. So I lead through that whole cyclical fashion from all 6 steps, starting with awareness, all the way to manifest. Okay? And as you notice here, even the layout of the cards has this, like, almost this frequency. It's like resonating. It's a I bet you can feel it through the video too. I feel it very, very strongly right now. Makes it difficult in some cases to actually, like, have my eyes open. It's almost like it's so blasting there that I want to, like, close my eyes, because it's like almost like a bass, a bass box going to me. And it may be feeling like that to you through the video as well. And that's why I'm actually giving you guys a break and showing my face right now, because having it on full on screen for the entire time might overwhelm some of your senses. So I want to be cautious and very respectful of that. But I also want you to know that with great power comes great responsibility, yes, but it also can be used to truly pierce the veil. This is the veil piercer. The Merkaba, at least for me, it has been. And I think it could be a veil piercer for a lot of you who are so into using cards and divination tools, as I am, using a board like this to really dial it in, to not just use your intuition and feel the Lisbeth test of your body and your senses, but using the board to amplify this, and you will feel it that much stronger, and you will have actionable things to do that you're given. You're just downloaded to you when you do a reading like this. So let's come back to the board. Okay, so let us remind ourselves, what is the thing that we need to be most aware of right now as a humanity, as a consciousness, as a one entity, this unified course of consciousness? Rest and reconsider. Wow. This is a powerful card. I'm having a hard time talking right now because it's hitting me very hard, very, very deeply. But resting and reconsidering deals with the items of your being that you are pushing in your ego. Rest gives you a chance to detox. Yeah. Detox from yourself sometimes, some from your ego. So the resting and reconsidering is typically a card that deals with this process of patience. Not patience because you're waiting on something to happen for you, but patience in before you move into something big. Sometimes we can overextend ourselves. We can get so excited that we spend all of our energy in places that are not productive, that aren't serving us. And this card here is being aware of the need for rest, and that there are probably things in our fields, I mean, ours personally, and of course in the world, we all know, we've seen these on the news, to reconsider. Reconsider courses of action that are just based in pure ego. This is a general awareness warning, if you will. So there's awareness. Hope you can see that. Seek the truth. If you notice there's the splitting of a veil. If you remember, I just said that just a few minutes ago. Splitting of the veil. There it is. Between two minds. Seeking the truth. Your ego and your higher self. Ego and your higher self split the veil so more knowledge can come in, for more truth to come in. There's no problems to be solved, just more truth to be revealed, and this is splitting the veil. I love that card. And I'll just tell you guys, I've used this deck many, many times, and I've just used it for me or for the people I'm doing readings for. I've never done a reading for the whole world like this with the Imagination IQ board. And I'll just tell you, I have never drawn this card before, like ever, in this deck. I have never, ever drawn this card before. So that tells us something about, it tells me something, that there's something magical going on right now, which is very, very awesome, that these cards are being drawn now. They're drawing because of this reading for the world and for you. So our energy needs to be towards resting and recovering and sitting in the place to be able to receive more truth, to seek and receive more truth, and we do that through splitting this veil, the veil between left and right brain, left and right ego, and our higher self, splitting the veil that we can connect our to our higher selves. Okay, and our gravity well. This is where we draw in. Well, look at that. The card says manifest, if you can't read it. There on the board. It says manifest. We've got the wizard there manifesting his power. This is a major arcana card in this deck. So it's more like an archetype type of deal. This one is, it's resonating very, very strongly with me lately. I've drawn it several times, so this is very powerful. But now is the time to manifest. Not to talk about manifestation, but let's start manifesting. And the only way we do that is through awareness of our need to rest from using our ego and our willpower to push through, reconsider that course of action to be more grounded and drawing things in, and using the energy to be able to split the veil and draw in and connect our two minds, left and our right brain. And then manifestation starts to happen. This manifestation energy well, gravity well. And that's the slot we are in, the gravity well. You want to manifest? Be aware of this. Use your energy and focus your energy here, within yourself, to split the veil. Your energy doesn't need to be focused outside of yourself, only within. That is where true manifestation starts to begin. We come to imagination. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'll turn it around like this. Wow. That is the control card. This is also a card that is a major arcana card. And again, major arcana cards, you probably know this, but if you don't, major arcana cards are more the archetype. It's like the embodiment of a certain attribute. Control in this deck actually refers to like the traditional tarot as well, which is called strength. In tarot, this card would be the strength card. And just like with the manifest card would be the magician card. Drawing the magician card, which is a very powerful card. Making your wish. Make that wish. Split the veil, make the wish to your higher self. And in your imagination, being more connected to the fact that you have the strength. What you've gone through in the past is now going to be the fuel for your imagination to create things in the future. Create the opposite of if you had a bad childhood. Create the opposite of maybe you were scammed in a business. Create the opposite of that, or create something that is an augmentation of all the good too. The things that have brought you to this point have strengthened you. They have not imprisoned you, but they have given you strength to empower you, to give you the ability to control what comes next. And that's imagination, to manipulate the images in your mind to be able to create something brand new. And that comes from the fuel from the past, good, bad, and indifferent. So receive it all, accept it all, receive it all. And you have the power in your imagination right now to take the next step, to choose what happens next, because you have the power of manifesting as the magician, and you can use your imagination to control that outcome for yourself. You have the power. Coming to dreams. Wow, guys. Wow. That's 3 major arcana cards so far. This is the major arcana card. Hopefully you can see that. Move this over here so you can see it a little bit better. The lead card in the traditional tarot is the Emperor card. So this is the Emperor card. The Emperor being you have the understanding of strict, systematic leadership, but at the same time you are flexible with what is thrown at you. So that in communication connection with your control card here, or your strength card in traditional tarot, is a very powerful connection. So you got control and you've got the wizard, or you've got this magician over here manifesting. So it's almost like 2 sides of the same coin. Magician and strength. Magician using magic, and then strength of power of will. Well, it's both. We still need ego, but we don't need it to control things. And a leader, a good leader, a strong, powerful leader is one that can balance the 2. Love it. So this is where you start bringing in this control of the past, the control that is bringing the magician, sucking in, drawing into the gravity well, and it's bringing into your leader. You are a leader. You are a leader. Every single one of us is a leader. How we lead is determined upon a lot of factors, but the big universal one is having a harmonious balance between what you do and who you are. Yeah, and that's a leader. So dream and meditate on leading your people, leading the people that you can serve. It's a big one. And that leads to this succession of being aware of resting and reconsidering, being aware into our energy focus of seeking more truth by piercing the veil. That leads us to the ability to be that magician that just, boom, snap our fingers and things happen, dropping in to that place of our gravity well. And it gives us the freedom and the strength to control the next step, what happens next, through our imagination. Because now we have the fuel. Doesn't matter good, bad, or indifferent. It's not going to make or break you. Your choice to control, to have strength, that is going to determine whether or not you bring in the life you want, you manifest the life you want, or you manifest the life that someone else wants. So we turn over the manifest card. Love it. Hopefully you can see it. Let me turn this over just a little bit so you guys can. So share the love card. Share the love. This is a green card, a powerful, I love that too. Our green manifest and our green sharing the love. Again, a very powerful heart card. This is where we are connected to others. You want to manifest in large ways by leading by example, leading with control, self-control. This is not about holding oneself back. Self-control is controlling your mind, your imagination, in the way in which you translate your downloads from source and the universe into the world. That's control. That's self-control. And being able to manifest as the magician would, by the snap of the fingers, drawing in those things you intend to create. And all along, that built on the foundation of a strong energy focus pattern towards seeking the truth by piercing the veil between the ego and the higher self. I'm going to look in right there. That's where I want to be. Right in between. Do you see how all these come together? All right, let's turn over more personal here about our left and right brain. I was saying the universal, the worldwide left and right brain. In our left brain, what are things that we need to be conscious of right now? Whew, yeah, wow. This is another archetype card. This is the move card, at least in this deck. In a traditional tarot deck, this would be the Chariot card. And this is very cool that I drew this card, because the Chariot card was actually in another deck, in an Angel tarot deck. I drew the Chariot card. And that was the card that I actually was inspired by Metatron to make the board game as it is in that Metatron cube, because that symbol, the symbol on the board, was there on the card. It was on the front of the Chariot. This is the Chariot card in a traditional tarot, and it's also the Chariot card in all the Angel tarot decks that are out there too. This is about movement, about forward momentum, of clarity of thought and intent. Boom. Very analytical too. Like, okay, once I got that message, I was up the rest of the night creating this game board. I couldn't stop. I was done. I was like, I'm creating this board. I was so energized. It was 10 o'clock at night, and I drew that Chariot card, and it was like, oh, that is it. That is the layout. And then I spent the next 3 hours working on this game board and setting it up. It could be that powerful, and time didn't mean anything to me. I was full of energy. Tired afterward, but I was full of energy while I was doing it. All right, let's see what's going on in the right brain. Indeed, indeed. A well-deserved reward. This is where that creative mix is going to come into play here. Creative, empathic, sensitive place. You've driven a long road here. A lot of you have. I certainly have. I continue to drive some of those roads, and probably you do too. This well-deserved road and reward here only comes when you follow this path that we've laid out on the board. Rest and reconsider. Be aware of that. Tap into your energy source of seeking the truth and piercing the veil and knock it right there in the middle between higher self and ego. Using your magician powers to be able to drop into the gravity well and draw the things you intend to create to you. Your imagination, control, pulling things from the past, that fuel source from the past, good, bad, indifferent, and using it to create the next step of your life, the next image, the next story. Dreams and that leading. You're leading somebody, whether it's yourself or your family or maybe hundreds of thousands of people. You're leading someone. And the leading for those people can be a lifesaver for them. They're looking for that leadership, that strong leadership that helps them manipulate the images in their mind so they can manifest in the way that they're looking to manifest on demand. And lastly, that's it. Once you get this flow here, you need to share the love. Spread the word. Show people that they too can manifest on demand. They too can take that next step and make things happen the things happen because they are in control. And then just a reminder in our brain there, ride that chariot, and it's time for inspired, clear, fast, mobile action. The heart. We're moving at the speed of love. And then that well-deserved reward is right there for you. You're going to be so filled and enamored with the power that you have created, this wheel engine that you're going to bless other people, but at the same time you're blessing yourself. And you will feel the reward, and you'll be able to take it in. And this is something that we can share with the entire world, guys. This is something we can share. And I'm hoping, little piece here of something that I've discovered with the game board, using it for card reading, that it has blessed you today as well. I'm Dan Fowler, the Imagination Engineer. If you have any questions, please, you can email me at danfowler@theimaginationengineer.com, or you can go to theimaginationinstitute.com with a V on the front, theimaginationinstitute.com. Check out everything else that we're up to, including Imagination IQ live event, including the game board, and everything else that we're doing with our programs and such. And hopefully this was a blessing to you. If it was, I would love for you to put a comment below this video and just say how it was a blessing to you, how it touched you, and maybe how we can connect down the road. I'd love to hear your story about how this reading touched your heart and maybe you inspired you to take the next steps maybe that you've been procrastinating on in your life. I wish blessings to all of you, and I will see you very soon.